It really seems like I've been doing a whole bunch of rants on here lately, and that's alright. But today is not the time for a rant. Instead, it's time for a series of poorly lit backgrounds. I take poor lighting seriously. My video today is talking about a stance that John and Hank of Vlogbrothers have recently taken up about advertising and generating revenue via advertising. Basically, their stance is that they don't like advertising. They think there are better ways to make money off of the content that you make. And to an extent, I really agree with them. I think that if you can make money off of content that you create by making more content, like t-shirts or wristbands or art projects that you then sell, then that's wonderful. Or music, that's great. But I wouldn't go so far as to say that I dislike advertising. I think that YouTube advertising is a really pretty win-win situation. I mean, I put ads on my videos so that I can get money with which to make more videos, so that I can have a higher budget for the things that I create. In my field of YouTubing, budget is extremely important. When you review things, you have to have a budget with which to buy things to review. Because I'm not of the size yet that all the tech companies will just send things to me. Now, advertising is somewhat intrusive, I get it. Pre-roll advertising is something that YouTube has just now started to introduce, or recently. All that it requires of you is spending 30 seconds to a minute of your time watching an ad, or just 5 seconds if you don't like it. If you're not intrigued, you skip it. And if you really hate advertising, you probably have an ad blocker that negates the whole issue. Basically, the worst case scenario that we pay for otherwise free content is a minute of inconvenience, slight inconvenience. I think that's quite reasonable. Basically, my views come down to this. For small YouTubers who are just getting started building an audience like myself, advertising is great. It lets us do what we do. And I'm pretty sure that it was the same way, or at least similar, for John and Hank when they got started on YouTube. That being said, I do completely understand where they're coming from now that they have such an enormous following. If I can keep doing what I do and not advertise in the process, that would be a pretty great option. But I disagree with the premise of advertising being written off as a concept and made to seem like a bad choice, a bad option. Because it's not. It lets us create. Advertising lets me put the time I need into making these review videos for you. And I think it's absolutely great that YouTubers such as myself can have the opportunity to maybe turn this into a career if they make good enough content. Writing editorials and vlogging and making review videos doesn't lend itself all that much to making creative content that you sell. So if I can achieve the same thing with advertising, it's a win-win. And lastly, to turn this into a review kind of, this thing, awesome. I'll link to it in the description.